This video, I'm going to be giving you the complete guide to what I think is going to be the best day one offense in Madden 26. While we are on Madden 25 here, these combos are going to work on Madden 25, and they're also probably going to work on Madden 26. I'm going to show you the playbook, and I'm going to talk a little bit about why this is such a good scheme. This is the Los Angeles Chargers offensive playbook, and it's pretty much the same in Madden 26. And what makes this playbook so good is you have some really good running formations down here that you can utilize to score more consistently in the red zone. One of the best runs in the game is this combination of the halfback stretch and the 26 duo from a heavy tight end set. You can then obviously put a couple passing plays, maybe even a halfback dive in there, whatever you want. This little, kind of 4 or 5 play mini scheme is very, very effective out of this wing tight. You also have the wing pair here, and this has a stretch. It has a 0-1 trap. It has a 26 duo, and then if it does have like a power O, so you just have all of the good runs. You also have tight end attack, which is America's favorite play. So you just have some really, really good, kind of under center red zone type of sets that are super important to have in any offensive scheme. You have to be able to score consistently inside of the red zone, and one of the easiest ways to do that is to have good running plays. So you see this right here, just alone, the stretch, the dive, the duo, these three, just a great combination of running plays. And then you can put a passing play in here, whatever you're looking for, just in terms of getting, a good passing play out on the field. And they do have this tight doubles. This tight doubles isn't great. It doesn't have a stretch or anything. They also have the split T. If you ever want to run the fullback dive, halfback inside combination, you can do that. They do have, kind of heavy I form formations as well, if you like that. So they just have a lot of, good red zone running base formations. It's going to make offense easy on you when you get down in the red zone. They also have a pretty decent shotgun formations. They have this normal wild close. This isn't the best version of the normal wild close, but it got some decent plays in here. You also, though, have this tray offset. This is probably a formation that I would go ahead and set some audibles for. As you can see here, we have, I think, a pretty good run is this Power O and then this RPO screen combination. Again, I like to have just multiple runs because the hot routes are so good. You could pretty much create whatever play you want, but by having good running plays within your audibles based on the looks that they're giving you, you can check into whatever the run is that you might want to have. So the only real play that I would recommend having in this playbook is I think the level sail is a good play just because you have a good corner route to that tight end. And I also like to play verticals, wide drag. If you wanted to put another play in here, the only other one that I would really recommend is, maybe this maybe slot under, maybe slot out. Both of those are okay. But the other real play that I would say is like worth it is the shot slot post, just because you have a really unique post route to that middle trips receiver there. That could be a good play for bombing coverage. They added this formation in, and I think this formation is going to be one of the best formations in Madden 26. Is the bunch spread. Now, this is a great audible too. It's maybe not necessarily like a fully optimized standalone formation, but it's a great formation to have. I really like the bunch spread nasty slightly better than this, but this is a good play. It is a good formation to have, and you actually have some really cool plays in here. You have this play motion slot hitch, which is really, really nice. You have an outside zone run, which these outside zone runs are really good for like those double mug based defenses. The cheat flood is okay. These cheat motions are super fun to have. You can kind of build a little bit around them. You have Z spot. You have speed dig. This crosser from speed dig is the best crosser in the game. So you have, if you want to kind of build around, whatever. And then, really that's about it. Motion snag under, you do have kind of a short corner if you wanted to kind of mess around with that. These cheat motion plays, I will say, aren't as good in Madden 26 as they are in Madden 25, but they're still good. They're just not overpowered like they were in Madden 25. Bunch strong offset. This is really ultimately your base formation. This formation has all of the tools that you need to be successful on the offensive side of the ball. And you pretty much have just great audibles: corner strike, duo, dagger, and then I would put this play. Where was that play at? I was thinking, I guess we'll put this PA play in here. You could also put these motion plays. Do we have the spacing play? I don't think we do. But we're going to come out in flood. Flood is the play that you want to base out of within this offense. And then the other thing that you have here is you have the ability to have this other formation that I think is really good: bunch X nasty. What makes this formation good is all of the auto motion within it, as well as a couple of money plays. So you have motion cross post, motion RPO zone alert, motion Y corner under. These are all really, really good plays. And then you have the whip double spot. What's nice about whip double spot is you have a tight end zig route, which in Madden 25 you can't hot route it. In Madden 26 you can, but this specific one is a slightly better one. And then you also have a running back fast table route. The fast table route is super, super helpful. You could, if you want to do these return motions, they're also pretty good as well. So you kind of put whatever in here if you want to put a run in there, but that's kind of what I do there. And then last but not least, you have this tight open. This is not something that I would run a ton, but what you can do with this is kind of build around good routes. So you have a really nice return route on the right side. You have a nice deep in route on the left. You have a nice table route and a zig. So you kind of build around, some of these plays. Not really a huge need to run tight open because you have so many other good formations already, but it is something that you have within your playbook. Other stuff in here, honestly, I don't really run any of this other stuff. Tray open is never really what I would do. Is put like glitch plays, or like not glitch plays, but just like gadget plays. So if I find like an RPO read or a good run, I'll put it in one of these secondary formations so that then I can just audible to it. For example, like this wild trio week, I don't call this a lot, but this power read is really good. The base, and then you could put like one passing play in here. But what's nice about this, you can kind of have a bunch of good runs, and then you have, one or two passing plays if you ever need to pass, but it just kind of fills out your offense by having those extra formations. So I wanted to show you a couple of my favorite plays here from this playbook and why I think they're going to be good next year. So first and foremost, the best way to play the game in general is going to be switch stick. Like that's just the best way to play. But every year you need to be able to beat man coverage. Every single year you need to be able to beat man coverage. And it really comes down to really one or two or three things. First and foremost, like alignment. A bunch formation is normally going to do better from man just because they're compressed. They can create natural picks and rubs. Tight ends and running backs are always good for beating man coverage. And then the other thing that's really good for beating man coverage is just having good routes. So by having this corner strike play, we have a really good route to the tight end and a really good route to the outside bunch receiver that beat man. We also have a speed in route to the running back and a C route. So we can kind of build this play to beat man however we want to. For example, one of the easiest ways to run this play is drag the solo receiver and streak this slot receiver, just like this. You have a mesh over the middle, which is historically good for beating man. You have a high-low read on the right side for zone, and they can also beat man coverage. So you see here, I get man-to-man coverage. We can just check it down to our drag, and we know that drags are one of the most consistent routes year in and year out for attacking man-to-man. The other thing about this formation is you have this some of these routes over here on the right side. So take a look at this corner route. You see there, actually kind of got bumped, unfortunately. I will say with the Chiefs, let me actually sub in some better receivers here because their stock receivers are super slow the way they have them set up, even though they actually have really good receivers. And they will have better ones, I think, next year. But anyways, let's take a look at this. Let me just sub in. Let me get let me put my route runner dude in the slot. And then I'm going to put my two speed guys here on the outside. Okay. So as you see, I mean, cover two man, you've got to have a plan for cover two man every single year. You pretty much have to have a plan for a cover two man, a cover zero blitz, and then, basic zone coverage typically is what you kind of get. So the only thing I was going to say about the tight end route is the tight end route is really good. And I'll show you another way that this can be even better against man. Let's see if we can actually hit it, though. They're kind of getting bumped. But you see how that tight end route just gets a nice separation? I feel like that happens a lot on this play. It's why I end up keeping the tight end flat route. I'll give you another setup out of this that is pretty good for man coverage on this. This setup right here will be great for man next year. So what you're going to do, and you could do it out of corner strike or you could hot route it all, okay? So we're just going to do it out of corner strike. So we're going to go streak on the slot. We're going to post the tight end, and we're going to drag this backside player right here. Now, if you want to leave the running back in route on the field, you can. If you want to put the running back on a table route, you can. If you want to block the running back, you can, which makes this really good for man-to-man blitzes. And then what I would do with the tight end is stem him down one time just to make it a little bit more of like a slant type of route. And you're going to see that when he cuts across the middle of the field, he is going to do a really good job of being able to consistently beat man coverage on this play. Now, if we want to beat man coverage to the right side of the screen, one of the best plays to be able to do that is actually this play flood. You're just going to stem this tight end all the way down. What I like to do is drag. Again, this is specific for man coverage. I'll drag this outside bunch receiver to create kind of a rub. And then what you'll see is that this tight end corner off the line of scrimmage will normally be able to beat that man coverage, and you'll be able to get that kind of bend on the ball that I think makes it pretty good against man. Another reason why this is such a good playbook is our audibles. So we can audible to this bunch X nasty motion cross post play. Now this is still yet to be seen if this is going to be identical to Madden 25. But in Madden 25, what you can do is, as you'll see here, this just breaks man coverage. One of the best ways to be able to manipulate man coverage is through the use of motion, especially auto motion. And the reason why is because when you do the auto motions, the defenders oftentimes are too slow to react to what you're doing, and it really limits their ability to run man. Even if the auto motion route itself doesn't win against man coverage, you'll see here that just by him being motioned over, it really opens up the whole field, and now it creates even better picks and rubs. So really effective way to beat man coverage is these auto motion plays. If you don't have an auto motion play in your playbook, you still want to beat man coverage. Obviously, there's a lot of ways to just use basic motion to do that as well. For example, in bunch formations, if you were to put the slot receiver on a corner route, which we could do from a lot of different plays within this formation. In this case, we'll just kind of freestyle it. We'll put the slot receiver in a corner route. We're going to stem him all the way down. We're going to streak our tight end. And then we're going to do a really simple thing. We're going to motion this receiver over and put him on a drag. What happens is when you motion this receiver over and put him on really anything, just motioning him, it's going to give the slot corner route a lot better space at being able to consistently win against man coverage. So you have the capability of that being an effective way to break down man coverage as well. Again, it's super important to me that you just have the tools in your tool belt to be able to manipulate man coverage, which kind of leads me to the mid-blitz conversation. This is going to be ran, especially at the beginning of Madden 26. It's a very good defense. What the weakness of it is it's based out of a cover zero. So because it's based out of a cover zero, they took baseline out of Madden and out of college football. So oftentimes the way you get to see this run is it's going to be with this safety right here. So what I like to do, this is where the auto motion comes in handy, is if we go to the auto motion play, again, it doesn't even matter if the auto motion route is going to beat man coverage. What matters is you're going to see here that this is going to mess up their alignment. And so when we're able to mess up their alignment, we could do very basic setups like this right here and have a lot of success, right? If we want to block the blitz, we're just going to half slide to the left, block the running back, and we're going to try to pick up the pressure here. But basically what you're going to see is it's going to pull that guy out of the way, and then oftentimes your corner is going to get better separation because you motioned him out. This also is really effective if you're in a situation, let's say you're playing somebody and they like to do this. This is a common adjustment that a lot of people will do. And they'll put, they'll switch stick off of this guy. Maybe they'll even do like a cover three, You know what I mean? Like the very, very common defense that you're going to see next year. And you can see it in a lot of different ways, but this is the basic concept. Well, what happens, and this is why this is such a good thing, is if they do adjust out of man, which we know they're going to do, right? Because of the lack of baseline being in the game. If they adjust out of man, they can't. You see, he's going to still follow him, even though they put him in a zone. He's still going to be following him, and he's all the way across the field, and nobody can defend the corner. So it's just a good thing to have, no matter really what offense you're running. If you can incorporate some level of motion, especially if you can incorporate auto motion, it's going to really help when we talk about beating man coverage consistently, regardless of really what formation you're running. Another thing that I wanted to show you real quick out of this bunch X nasty is this play. I wanted to show you this one crosser. Let me take a look at this. If I can find it, is it? Did I miss it here? Drive HB under. It's the speed dig play. I think it's from. It must be from bunch spread. So we'll put this in this playbook here. But this is again the other thing that you're looking for. We talk about beating man coverage consistently. You're always trying to find the man beating routes, right? What are the good routes? What are the good routes for man coverage, and how do I build around them to then be able to also beat zone? One of the best routes in the game for beating man coverage is this crosser on the right side. As you see here, if I was to put circle on a crosser, they're much different routes. The route to circle is not the route to R1. They're very different, even though they're both a crosser. They're so different in the sense of there's really not a great cut on the slot apprentice or the hot routed crosser, but this one has a very sharp cut in the middle of it that's going to give it space against man coverage. You can literally do whatever you want with the rest of the combo. One of the best man beating routes, would be to do something like this little zig flat combo on the left side. We would definitely want to have either a drag if we think it's man, or a streak if we think it's zone. It's kind of just dependent on what we think they're doing. Obviously, here we're talking about them potentially running something like this, and then we can kind of craft our play. However, so anyways, the biggest thing here is watch how this just cooks man coverage. Whoops, I apologize. I must have accidentally ran commit. So we'll go speed dig, and again, you just want to put other man beating routes around it that still has good spacing. So, I think like I said, one of the best ways to run this is just streak, drag, and then really whatever you want with the tight end. Whatever you want to do with the tight end pretty much is going to work. I personally would probably just stem a corner all the way down here. And what you're going to see here is watch how we just get really nice isolation of that drag. The one issue with press man is sometimes they press super weird. So I don't. Again, what I want is I want to isolate. I want to isolate this route. So another great way to do it is just simply drag the tight end. Like this is a really good one. This will also create a nice high-low read against zone. And in Madden 26, you can actually put a return route on this outside guy, which will be super nice. I'll just motion him out for our purposes here. But basically, you see what you get here. Now, the crosser, you see, even though he's getting pressed, he will do a pretty good job of beating man. I will say occasionally in regs, this man up is a little better. In Ultimate Team, where the speed and all that stuff is fairly equal, I find that it's just a lot better. But that being said, we'll just drag this guy again. Hopefully we'll see him see this crosser. See how deep it goes too? Like it's just a really, really good route. Of course, Rashee Rice is kind of selling me on it. The other thing I forgot to tell you is you can stem this route down slightly. And then the only other thing is this is why I like from like this alignment, because when you get it from this alignment, the deep half gets cleared out a little bit more. Look at Rashee Rice just getting caged. And you see, once he actually gets into his route, he will win. It's kind of frustrating me that this route is not showing its actual power, but it's a very, very good man-beating route. Let me just put a faster receiver in that position. Rashee Rice might just need to be out. He might just need to be out of there. We'll just put McCole Hardman in there. So he's obviously a much worse overall player. But what you'll probably see is he'll probably beat man better. And again, just for the purpose of the video, I'm going to back off. I'm going to back off. Well, I guess I can't. Of course, because you can't, because when you audible. Never mind. Don't mind me. So let's just take a look at the crosser. So you see when he kind of gets that bend, see how he just kind of outruns him. Now you do need like like a clear out, right? But anyway, I'm kind of annoyed that this is actually a lot better of a route than we're able to show it here. I'm going to put the running back out here, and we're just going to try to really isolate this crosser, getting that inside leverage, which is kind of being. But you see, eventually he'll just outrun him. That's even better in Madden 26. It's way better in college too. This crosser, like I said, and again, we need a little better receiver than what we have here, but it's one of the best routes that I've found, especially in 26. And you can kind of build around the play. It's also a lot deeper than you might realize. Like, it's actually a pretty deep route. And here you see, finally, we're able to actually complete it. We're going to leave it there. We're not going to do anything else. But it's might not be as good in regs, but in cut, in mutt, it's good. And also in 26, it's even better. It's a lot better of a route in 26. So that being said, like, let's talk a little bit more about 25 here. So another thing that you can do to beat man coverage is just simply using tight end zigs. So if we go over to Bunch X Nasty, you see we have a stock tight end zig. We also have this really fast table route. So what I like to do with this play is you kind of do it a couple different ways. I'm pretty much just going to streak this guy. I just think it's better, or a deep in route, like a 15-yard in route like that. I'm going to slant or short cross this this slot receiver, which he is a different icon than you would think. And then in college football, you can actually speed out this outside guy. I'm just going to flat him in this example. But what you're going to see is, watch the tight end just give a nice cut. And again, the icon thing really got me again. But the tight end is going to win 100% of 100% of the time in Madden 25. In college football and in Madden 26, this route is still going to win. It might not get as much separation, but it's still going to win consistently. And as you see, it's just a really good route. So what they have to do to stop this is they basically have to play cover 2. So what I'll do, again, so like let's say, they stop it by playing cover 2 with a shaded down yellow. So if they're doing that, we could put a route combo on the field that is actually really good against it. One of the easiest ones to put is just a very simple streak backside, backside crosser like this. And then you can put the running back on like a streak or something. But watch here, you'll see they'll play the zig a little better. But now you got the crosser. Man, me and crossing routes might be done. Me and crossing routes, they might actually be done. You have the crosser coming over the top of it. The other thing you have, now that they want to say the crosser is not good, is you could also do this. So you could also streak the slot receiver, corner route this outside guy, stem him down. And so now you have this. So it looks very similar, but now it's a corner instead of a flat. It's still going to be the same thing. But the beauty of this play is you now have a way to really attack cover 2. As we get screamed at for no reason. As we literally get... Oh, it's because I blitzed I forgot. I'm in the wrong... What? I called cover 3. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I didn't actually guard the zig. But anyway, so you see here, I'm going to call cover 2, and I'm going to have shaded down hooks, and then I'm also going to have clouds on the outside. So you streak the slot, you corner this outside bunch guy, and you can stem him. I wouldn't probably let him run just a little bit vertical as we... Oh, brothers, as we run commit. Awesome. All right. Just trying to show you a basic high low to the right. They just don't want us to be great, boys. They just don't want us to be great. But what you'll see is, see how he gets over the top of the cloud. So that is a great route. to kind of be able to add into your arsenal to kind of play a little bit of a chess match with the man coverage, right? Pretty much all that I wanted to talk about in terms of man coverage. Another one, only one other play, and this one you can do out of anything as well. But I do think it's best out of corner strike. We're going to drag the tight end, Texas the running back, and then we're going to streak this slot receiver. And on the backside, you can either leave the C route or you could run like a deeper cutting post. The reason I like this play is because a lot of the routes will win against man. The tight end drag, one of the best routes against man. The running back Texas is very consistent. It's almost impossible to be defended against man coverage. And so you just have some really, really good routes. So that's kind of how I attack press man and some of the methods that you can use to attack press man. Cover zero showed you some of that stuff as well. Now I want to go over kind of a couple different things within this. So first and foremost is a kind of coding thing. So if you go in and you put your hooks on 5 and you run America's defense, which is this cover 4, there's actually a built-in match principle within it that a lot of people don't know about. I figured I'll start this section with just showing you. So what we're going to do is we're going to stem our corner all the way down. We're going to post our slot, and we're going to stem him up twice. From there, we're going to just drag this outside receiver like so. And what you're going to see is against cover 4, this slot fade will just break the cover 4 coverage. It's one of the best ways to manipulate any kind of cover 4 in this game, especially the cover 4 quarters. Now, an important disclaimer: if I run cover 4, cover 4 drop, you're not going to get that same response. So you're going to see, even though it looks exactly the same, it's because of the matching principle within that is built within the cover 4 quarters play. As we run commit again, I don't know why we're run committing. Is my left trigger button just broken? I don't know. Every time I seriously adjust the defense, I just run commit. So we're going to pass commit. Maybe that'll help things, or maybe it'll make it worse. Okay, I'd love to be able to just stem my route down perfectly. There we go. And what you'll see here is you still can throw it, but it has to be outside. And I will say that that's much less consistent. Okay. So anyways, that is, kind of how you can potentially, if you want to break match or break, not necessarily match, but break like a zone dropped match. That is something you can do. I'll give you a couple of my favorite ways to break down zone coverage. Again, we always want to have man beating routes and zone beating principles. So one of the best ways to beat man is through using a zig route, and one of the best ways to beat zone is through using a flat zig combo. Because again, a lot of people like this cover 4, right? A lot of people like this cover 4. So if they're running cover 4 or really just any zone defense, this is going to give it trouble. You're just going to drag your tight end. You're going to zig your slot receiver, and then you are going to flat your outside bunch receiver. You can run it like this. If you want to, you could put him on an out route and stem him down, and that will give you some man-to-man beating potential. But basically, you're just going to read this, and oftentimes you're going to have one of your underneath routes. If they're shading underneath super aggressively, then you're going to have, the route over the top. So this is, again, kind of a freestyle play. You can pretty much do this with hot routes, but it is a really, really good way to be able to attack kind of the short area of the right side. One of the other areas that I think needs to be attacked in this offense is really the left side kind of vert hook area. And so one of the best ways to be able to attack kind of that area of the field is through the play dagger. Now, the way that I like to run dagger is just simple post on the tight end, very quick snappable play. And you're going to see that this drag just gets in a nice spot where it's very difficult for them to defend it. And to defend that, they're going to have to bite on it with either a good yellow zone that's shaded down or a user. But I want you to notice, because it's a delayed kind of drag, even if I shade down, the yellow doesn't really get down there, and I'm able to throw this pretty consistently and pretty regularly. Kind of based on again just how they defend the route. So what they have to basically do is they have to use her that well. If they use her down on a basic drag, then you're going to be able to hit this post once he kind of clears that area of the field. So that's one of the plays that I really like. Another play that I like out of this flood, kind of another variation of really the same thing, is to motion the running back out and put him on a flat. It's a subtle thing, but what it does is it really pulls those zones and it opens this quick throw spot, this like quick passing lane to hit that tight end drag very nicely underneath the zone. So those are all plays that are designed to get them into cover two, basically to get them out of cover four hard flat, right? Because we're attacking and peppering in the spots that coverage is weak. And so when they start to go cover four hard flat, or they start to go to cover two, some of the things that I like to do is I love the short corner to the right side. Now, in college football 26 and Madden 26, you can put a slot fade on your receiver to kind of imitate that. I'm going to put him on a corner, and then we're going to put a streak to the tight end, and then we're going to drag our backside receiver. If you want to put the running back on the table, go for it. Don't think you really need to. I would just block him, but we're just going to really attack this right sideline. And as you see, this corner out gets really good positioning against any kind of cover three or cover four hard flat. Now, what people like to do in this game is they will play cover four, but they basically will switch stick onto the outside corner route. So effectively, it's more like a cover two, right? Well, in college football 26 and Madden 26, you can use a slot fade. And so what's going to happen is that slot fade, which I'm kind of imitating with a double corner, is he's going to attack that outside quarter. And so if they switch stick off of him, this is going to be a big play over the top of that defender. So what this really practically means is that the new way that people are going to want to defend formations like bunch is they are going to want to run a coverage shell that looks something like this. These deep halves are a lot more improved in this game. They're going to play more so like an outside third, but it's basically this coverage right here, potentially sending four or even five. You will see people send five as well within this, and then if they do that, means they're going to use this yellow zone. Okay, I'm going to imitate it sending four, and we're going to talk about attacking cover two. So the best way to attack cover two, in my opinion, is to use a deeper corner route. So the way you want to do that is to play flood. As you see, we have this tight end corner. If we stem him all the way down, he is going to be a little bit of a deeper corner route. And then we also have a flat zone and a fade route. You kind of are going to need this fade because it will pull that outside third to him. And then you'll see that there's this window to hit that corner route over the top of a cloud flat defender. So all in all, this is one of the best plays for breaking down zone. Another thing that's really good about this play, again, if we just talk about briefly like what they're probably going to do, is this means that they're going to run cover three more than likely on this left-hand side. There's obviously a couple variations of it, but in general, you're going to get a cover three. So you want to have a built-in way to attack a cover three zone. One of the best ways to do that is this play flood and that setup we showed you where we're stemming that post up twice. And then on this backside, we want to make sure we're dragging this outside bunch receiver or this solo receiver. So you see this is what the play looks like. What you're going to see is that the middle third will get his face crossed up, and there is a window to throw this right there. The corner actually played it really, really well. We'll try that one more time. But again, the whole idea is that we're just taking advantage of, kind of the plays over here on the left side. Another way that we could do it, by the way, call corner strike, drag, streak, and then you can post this outside guy like this. This is another variation of it. But essentially, it's just having a good cover three plan. Because a lot of people are going to try to run cover three on the solo side this year. And so you just need to have, what is your plan for attacking cover three? Another really easy way to attack any kind of cover three to the bunch side or to the solo side is going to be the play dagger. I love the play dagger in this game, and I think it's going to be really good. And so basically, all you're going to look to do here is you're going to go to dagger and you're going to crosser your slot. By crossering your slot receiver, you can put the running back on a streak if you want, but you just have this high-low read, and you're going to be able to throw this crosser kind of in the soft spot of a cover three zone. One of the most underrated route combos in this game is what I'm about to show you, and it was really good for cover three. One of the easiest ways to beat cover three in this game is to utilize a drag in cognizant or in combination with a curl route. You want to stem the curl route up one time, and then you can do whatever else you want on the play. So whatever you want to do with those three receivers to the right, but it's really the drag and then this curl, and you'll see that the curl just gets in a really soft spot, and this is a very, very effective way just for consistently attacking any kind of cover three to that left-hand side. Another great way for attacking cover three to the left-hand side is through the use of, again, we're talking about a cover three that kind of looks more so like this, with their user kind of being over in this area. So the way that we can attack this, again, this is their user, right? So one of the easiest ways to attack their user is through using auto motion and using seam streaks. So this motion cross post play, we're just going to seam streak this guy, drag the tight end, and post the slot. So it looks like this. And they basically have to choose. If they go left, we get the right. If they go right, we throw left. But essentially, we're going to motion them over. The other thing about this is the outside thirds this year are going to really struggle to defend that throw right there. So you have access to that within here as well. All in all, there are so many ways this year to be able to consistently attack cover three, but it is going to be a coverage that you need to be familiar with. Another one of my favorite plays is this motion corner under. Love this play specifically for man and zone. What I like to do is kind of run it like this, if you will. If you want to put the running back on a route, you can. But one of the best things about this is going to beat man coverage. And so when they do run man coverage, your return route, it gets unbumpable, and he cuts super well against man, making it very difficult for them to continue to play man against you. So these are some of my favorite plays in the Chargers playbook that I think are going to be really good in college football 26 and in Madden 26. I know that the C routes are going to make a little bit of a comeback next year, depending on like how they want to play defense. But C routes are good. One of the best adjustments for cover three beaters is to deep half this left side guy. And so a great way to kind of counter that adjustment would be to do something like this, basically. And then what you're going to get is that deep half has to go to the running back, and then now you have your C route or your drag, depending on what that curl flat defender does. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to take your Madden game to the next level, make sure that you join our free school community where I post mini schemes and exclusive tips every single day. It's completely free to you, and it's a community of people that are trying to get better at both Madden and college football. If you want to sign up for that, head down to the description and click the link below.